Here's a question nobody in the drone community wants to answer honestly. When was the last time a DJI software update actually made your flying experience better? Not just fixed bugs, not just improved stability, actually meaningfully better? Because right now DJI has just pushed out version 1.19.5 of the DJI Fly App for the Mini 5 Pro, and the official changelog reads, and I quote, "fixes issues and improves stability." That's it. No details, no specifics, no real explanation. 5 words. And if you've been in this hobby for more than 5 minutes, you already know what that means. Something changed. Something always changes, and they're not going to tell you what. But here's the thing. I dug in. I tested it. I compared settings, spoke to other pilots, and looked at what's happening in the UK and EU specifically. And what I found is not just about one app update. It's about a bigger pattern that affects every pilot watching this video right now. Whether you're flying a Mini 3, eyeing the new Mini 5 Pro, or sitting there wondering if that insane price drop on the Avata 2 is actually real, this video is going to answer every one of those questions. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what DJI doesn't want you to know, which drone is actually worth your money in 2026, and what move you should make next. Let's get into it. The DJI Fly App, Update 1.19.5. So let's start with the update itself. Version 1.19.5 of the DJI Fly App. On the surface, completely boring. You open the App Store, you see the update, you read "fixes issues and improves stability," and you tap install without a second thought. Most people do, and that's exactly the problem. Because this quiet, say-nothing approach to changelogs has become a pattern with DJI. And pilots who've been flying for a while know this pattern well. Small silent updates have previously adjusted altitude caps, changed RTH, behavior, and quietly toggled features without any announcement. So when DJI says nothing, your antenna should go up, not down. Now, to give credit where credit is due, version 1.19.5 does exist. It was released on February 3rd, 2026, and it is real. But here's the thing. The official changelog, in its entirety, says only that certain issues have been fixed, and that overall app quality has been optimized. That is it. No feature list, no interface improvements officially documented. Any pilot who tells you specific shortcuts got snappier or sensor toggles became easier. They are reporting personal impressions, not confirmed changes. And there is an important difference between the two. But here's the thing. Whether or not this specific update shuffled a few things around behind the scenes, the overall app experience for many pilots still feels unfinished. Icons overlap in ways that shouldn't happen on a premium product in 2026. Certain functions block access to others. Menus don't always respond on the first tap. For a system that DJI is marketing as a flagship consumer experience, the software still lacks the polish the price tag promises. And for pilots who were hoping this update would finally unlock some of the restrictions we're about to talk about, prepare to be disappointed, because nothing fundamental changed. Same 5 words, same silence. DJI Mini 5 Pro. And now we've arrived at the drone that the entire community has been buzzing about, the DJI Mini 5 Pro, which launched globally on September 17, 2025. The specs are almost offensive, in a good way. A sub-249-gram drone carrying a 1-inch 50-megapixel CMOS sensor, the world's first mini drone in this weight class to ever fit a 1-inch sensor. To be technically precise, the sensor's native resolution is 12.5 megapixels, with DJI's quad Bayer technology producing that 50 megapixel. Figure through pixel combining. Its real capability, used across DJI's entire current lineup, but worth understanding how it works before you quote it. Let's break down what that sensor actually means for your footage. A 1-inch sensor captures significantly more light than the 1 over 1.3-inch sensors found in previous Mini generations. More light means cleaner images in low-light environments. It means greater dynamic range, verified at up to 14 stops in testing, meaning more detail in bright highlights and deep shadows in the same frame simultaneously. It means richer color depth at pixel level. The jump in image quality between the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 5 Pro isn't incremental. Independent reviewers at Tom's Guide and TechRadar have called it a generation leap. On the video side, you're looking at 4K recording at up to 60 frames per second for fluid, cinematic motion, and slow motion at 4K/120 frames per second. That is full 4K resolution in slow motion, something no previous mini drone has ever achieved. Previous models maxed out at 4K/60 frames per second, or fell to 1080p for slow-motion shooting, 10-bit H.265 color recording for advanced color grading and post-production, a redesigned gimbal with 225 degrees of roll rotation enabling dramatic creative camera movements. For photographers, vloggers, and professional content creators who need true image quality without checking a bag at the airport, this drone changes the math entirely. Obstacle sensing has taken a landmark step forward with what DJI calls Nightscape Omnidirectional Obstacle Sensing. Powered by a forward-facing LiDAR sensor, combined with omnidirectional vision sensors, it can detect and avoid obstacles in as little as 1 lux of light. That is near complete darkness. The standard flight time is 36 minutes, with the optional Intelligent Flight Battery Plus that extends to 52 minutes, though that battery may push the drone above 249 grams in some conditions, which affects regulatory classification and requires checking local rules. Now, and this is critical, verified information that too many channels are glossing over, the Mini 5 Pro is not officially available through DJI's US Store. Due to ongoing regulatory tensions between DJI and the US government, DJI has not launched this drone through official US channels. If you're in the US and seeing it on Amazon, those listings are gray market imports at elevated prices, as high as $1,397 for the base version. Warranty support, official service, and DJI customer care may all be limited or unavailable for US buyers. UK, EU, Australia, and most global markets have had official availability since launch day at significantly more reasonable pricing. But, and this is still important, there is one open question even for international buyers. Packing this level of processing power, this size of sensor, and this bitrate into this small A body creates heat. And heat in electronics, over time, is the enemy of reliability. We've seen this pattern before with compact, high-performance devices, until real-world pilots have logged serious hours in warm climates, in summer conditions, in back-to-back battery sessions. We don't have the full long-term picture. I'm not saying avoid it, I'm saying go in with eyes open, and if you buy at launch, monitor your thermals. Final verdict. So, let's bring this all together, because I want to give you something actionable, not just information, but a clear direction based on everything we've covered today. On the app update, if your current setup is working smoothly, there is no urgent reason to rush the install. Let the broader community gather a week or two of real-world data first. Watch the forums, read the pilot reports, then update with full knowledge of what you're getting into. DJI has earned caution, not blind trust, when it comes to silent updates. On the altitude restrictions, if you're in the UK or EU, the 120-meter ceiling is not going away with any update. Accept that reality, plan your flights around it, and make sure you understand the difference between DJI's software enforcement and the actual legal framework of your airspace. They are not the same thing, and knowing the difference gives you options. On the Mini 3 price drop, if you're a beginner, a content creator, or someone sitting on an older drone that needs replacing, $335 is a genuinely rare opportunity. The Mini 3 at this price competes with drones that cost $100 to $200 more. Act on it before the pricing reverts. On the Avata 2 Fly More combo, if FPV has been on your wish list, this is your window. The bundle value at this price is objectively strong. Don't let it pass if you've been waiting for the right moment. And on the Mini 5 Pro, if you're outside the US and you're a serious creator who needs the best possible image quality in a travel-friendly package, this drone is extraordinary. It's already been reviewed extensively by international outlets with overwhelmingly positive verdicts. If you're in the US, the situation is more complicated. Gray market pricing is inflated, and warranty support is not guaranteed. The smart move is to wait and see whether DJI resolves its US regulatory situation before committing at a premium price. For international buyers, the only question left is thermal longevity over time. The RC2 controller. Let's talk about the RC2 controller, because I feel like this piece of hardware doesn't get called out enough. When you buy a DJI combo that includes the RC2, you're paying a premium. The expectation is that you're getting a complete, polished, ready-to-fly experience. A screen built in, no phone mount fiddling, just grab and go. And in theory, that sounds perfect. In practice, the RC2 feels like a bottleneck. Menus are slow to load. especially when you're trying to switch settings quickly before a flight window closes. Typing anything, a location name, a search, a login, is genuinely painful with the on-screen keyboard. The customization options are limited in ways that make no sense for a controller in this price bracket. Storage is restricted, and there is no real way to expand functionality beyond DJI's own ecosystem. You can't install third-party apps. You can't integrate external tools. You're locked in completely. What bothers me most is the contrast. The drone itself is remarkably capable. The Mini 5 Pro, which we'll get to shortly, is doing things in a sub-249-gram package that felt impossible just 2 years ago. But then, you put that drone in the hands of an RC2, and suddenly the weakest link in the chain becomes the controller that was supposed to make everything easier. For a system positioned as premium, that gap between drone capability and controller experience is something DJI really needs to close, and soon. DJI Mini 3 price drop. Okay, let's shift gears completely, because this next piece of news is actually exciting, and I don't throw that word around lightly. DJI has just dropped the price of the Mini 3 to around $335 in the United States. That's down from $419, nearly a 20% price reduction. And before you scroll past this thinking, it's just a Mini 3, hear me out. Because at this price, this drone is genuinely one of the most compelling pieces of consumer tech available right now. Let's talk about what you actually get. The Mini 3 weighs under 249 grams, which in the US means no FAA registration for recreational use. You literally take it out of the box, charge it, and fly. No paperwork, no waiting. The camera captures 4K HDR video at up to 30 frames per second. And before you think that's a downgrade for most social media content and general aerial work, 4K/30 frames per second is genuinely all you need. It has true vertical shooting mode built in. Not a crop, not a software trick, but actual native vertical orientation for Reels, TikToks, and Shorts. For content creators, that alone is worth a significant premium. It also carries a 1/1.3-inch sensor, the same size found in the pricier Mini 3 Pro, which is seriously impressive at this price point. One thing worth being transparent about: unlike the Mini 3 Pro, the standard Mini 3 does not include obstacle avoidance, so you'll need to fly with more situational awareness. But for recreational creators who are mindful pilots, that trade-off makes complete sense at this price. Flight time sits at 38 minutes on a standard battery. With the Fly More combo and 3 batteries in rotation, your total session flight time reaches around 114 minutes, meaning you can shoot multiple locations without packing up. At $335, the Mini 3 isn't just a good deal. In February of 2026, it might be the smartest entry-level drone purchase on the market, period. DJI Avata 2 Fly More combo. If FPV flying has ever been on your radar, and I mean that first-person, you're inside the drone kind of flying that makes your stomach drop and your hands shake, then you need to pay attention to what just happened with the DJI Avata 2 Fly More combo. The Fly More combo with 3 batteries has just dropped to $859 on Amazon. That is down from its $1,199 list price, a $340 saving, representing a 28% discount. For context, just 6 months ago, entering the FPV world at this level of completeness would have cost you considerably more. What's included in the Fly More combo? You get the Avata 2 drone itself, 3 intelligent flight batteries, a 2-way charging hub, the DJI Goggles 3 for that immersive heads-up view, and the RC Motion 3 controller for intuitive, one-handed direction inputs. The Goggles 3 feature pass-through cameras, so you can glance at your surroundings without tearing the headset off, a genuinely useful safety feature. With 3 batteries rated at approximately 23 minutes each under ideal conditions, a full Fly More session can comfortably cover scouting, your hero take, and B-roll without the constant pressure to land and recharge. Traditional FPV required soldering, tuning, building, crashing, rebuilding, and a willingness to spend months learning before you got one smooth flight. The Avata 2 changes that equation completely. It has obstacle sensing, stabilization, and safety features that give you the sensation of FPV without the risk of completely destroying it on your first outing. For pilots who've wanted to try this style of flying but couldn't justify the old price tag, this deal closes that gap. This is genuinely the best moment to enter the FPV world if you've been waiting. The altitude restriction scandal. Alright, now we get to the part of this video that I know a lot of you came here for, the altitude limit. And if you're flying in the UK or the EU, what I'm about to say is either going to confirm everything you've suspected, or it's going to make you genuinely angry. Probably both. Earlier this year, a wave of mini drone pilots suddenly found themselves hitting an invisible ceiling at 120 meters. Out of nowhere, drones that had flown higher before were now hard-locked. Some blamed firmware, some thought skipping updates would get around it. Forum threads went back and forth for weeks. But here's the truth, and this is the part DJI has been frustratingly vague about. The restriction has absolutely nothing to do with your firmware version. It is entirely location-based. The drone detects where it is geographically and applies the corresponding limit. Take that exact same drone, same firmware, same app, same everything, and fly it in the United States, and suddenly higher altitude settings are available. The hardware is identical. The software is identical. The only thing that changed is the GPS coordinates. Think about what that means. DJI has built a system that gives some pilots full access to their own drone while restricting others based purely on geography. Now, here's where it gets even more frustrating. UK and EU law actually allows flight up to 120 meters above ground level, not above the takeoff point. That distinction is massive. If you take off at the bottom of a hill and climb with the terrain, you can legally maintain compliance while exceeding 120 meters of altitude from your launch point. DJI's software ignores this completely. It enforces a flat 120-meter ceiling from takeoff, regardless of terrain. So, pilots flying legally in hilly or mountainous regions are being blocked by software that doesn't understand or doesn't care about nuanced airspace law. And that option to request a higher altitude limit still doesn't work. Not for most pilots. Software control is now shaping the flying experience more than actual regulations are, and that is a problem worth talking about loudly. The Dynamic Homepoint problem. There's something else going on with this update that I want to flag, because it doesn't just affect your experience, it affects your safety. Dynamic Homepoint. For anyone who doesn't know, this is the feature that updates your drone's return-to-home location as you move. If you're cycling, hiking, following a moving vehicle, or walking along a trail, the idea is that your home point moves with you. So if the drone ever needs to return automatically, it comes back to where you actually are, not where you started. In theory, this is a brilliant safety feature. In practice, it has become one of the most inconsistently reported features in recent DJI history. Pilots are describing situations where it works perfectly one day and throws errors the next. Sometimes it activates the moment you start moving. Sometimes it refuses to activate at all, even after a full reconnect. Some users have to power cycle the drone, close and reopen the app, and start over just to get it functioning, which defeats the entire purpose of having a feature designed to protect you in dynamic situations. When a safety-related feature behaves unpredictably, that's not just a software inconvenience, it's a legitimate concern. DJI has not addressed this publicly in any meaningful way, and it didn't appear in the 1.19.5 changelog either. If you rely on Dynamic Homepoint for your flying scenarios, test it thoroughly before your next serious session. Don't assume it's working because the option appears to be enabled. Call to action. Before you go, quick question for you, and I genuinely want to know the answer. Drop it in the comments right now. Are you Team Mini 5 Pro at launch, or are you waiting for 3 months of real-world reviews before you pull the trigger? It's a simple question, but the answers are always more split than you'd expect, and reading through them gives me a much better sense of what you actually want to see covered next. If this video gave you clarity on the update, on the restrictions, on the deals, then do one thing for me. Hit the like button. It sounds small, but it genuinely changes how many pilots this information reaches. And if you want to be the first to know when the Mini 5 Pro real-world test drops on this channel, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that video is coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one. Keep flying smart.